So it's that time of the year when a new Call of Duty game comes out, and Black Ops Cold War has recently been released, and I have played the whole campaign. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it up. But I've made a certain type of challenge video this time, and I'll be doing these going forward in many different games. Like for this one, I have did is without shooting, is it possible to complete Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War campaign? So before we start, I had to lay down some rules for me. Like, number one is that I can't shoot a single bullet. That's the main challenge of this video. Like, I can't fire a single bullet out of any guns, no crossbows or anything. Second rule is that no cutscenes or the cutscenes which are played during the takedowns or silent kills are not counted. Because in this game, when we perform a silent takedown or a knockout or anything like that, it's pretty random, like whether the character will pull out a gun to execute or to use the knife to kill them. So it's pretty much like that. Rule number three is that no throwables or tacticals count as a shot fired. So items like tomahawks, grenades, flashbangs, and anything of that sort do not count, so we can use those. If you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more, and turn on your notification bells. That really helps. So starting up with the very first mission, we have to select a difficulty, and we chose recruit because we are already can't use the guns, and in this game the AI is pretty much very difficult in recruit also, so we chose that. And even if we had to choose a higher difficulty, there's no point in because we won't be shooting. So if we chose a higher difficulty, we can pretty much shoot away and go through, but we can't shoot. So it's pretty much on the we just want to see like if there is any part where we can't get through without shooting. So let's get started. So starting up with nowhere to run, the very first mission, we start up at the bar, we get some guns, but we won't be using those. So we chose our weapon, and if it won't let us actually move in without choosing a weapon, so we had to choose one. Then we get inside this house where we need to shoot through the glass, but instead we just melee in, and this is gonna be the whole game all about this run, like going in and knocking out enemies and taking them down with our melee. And as you can see, when I melee them, and there's sometimes the character pulls out a gun from the enemy and shoots them, and we do not count that as a shot fired because it's pretty much random. As when we we can only count that as a shots fired like when we are manually pressing the trigger on the controller, or so-called the left mouse on our mouse, as I'm playing on a keyboard mouse, of course. So here we go, taking down more enemies, and this area was pretty much, we have to be very like sneaky past. We have to go sneak past some of the enemies, and we have to leave them behind for our teammates to kill, because there's pretty much a lot of them in here, and we have to be careful because the AI can pretty much kill us pretty soon if we don't take them out. And here was a jump. I thought I had to shoot them or we would die, but we actually didn't have to shoot any single bullet on them, and we could just land and safely, and they would all fall. And there was this guy we had to interrogate, and I could have just like threw him, so we didn't have to kill him or risk killing him or shooting him anymore. And then there was this next part of the first mission where we go after a plane, and there was this sniper, and I thought we have to kill that guy on the plane at first, but we didn't really have to. But this is a place where it got a bit tough, and I had to try several times because this car was so small, we didn't have much area to move, and there were a bunch of vehicles coming at us trying to shoot us, and I had to strafe left and right. And finally it gave us the option to deploy our RC car and control it, and we just had to go take it forward under the plane, and that was it. And after this, on the next part, we have to make our profile, and we chose lone wolf and what do you call it, a survivor, which gives more health, and lone wolves allows us to move faster. So the game gave us two perks instead to work towards And the next mission is just pretty beautiful, like in a camp, military camp in Vietnam, and it was pretty much it. We just get on a chopper and fly about the way. It was a beautiful view, the sun setting, and that's it for this one. Starting up next, this is where I thought I have to shoot these RPGs, and I died only once because I didn't shoot any. And even if you don't shoot, and sometimes randomly we just able to survive, like the second run I did. And the first try I failed, as you can see, I failed. The chopper got destroyed by the RPGs, but in the second try I managed to pass through them, and we didn't have to fire a single bullet from the chopper. So as you can see, and there are a bunch of RPGs firing at us, and they won't really harm us this time. And then we get out of the chopper, and then again back on the melee thing going on and knocking them out. After this is the place where all things just changed in this part of this mission. Like, we have to take the chopper and fly through this valley, and there are like a bunch of houses down there which we have to shoot, but we don't really need to. We can just evade them and fly on through. And at the first try I failed, as there's a like chopper coming, and it actually hit me. But then the next try we could just fly above it and go straight through this valley, this canyon, or whatever you call it. And there's like a bunch of caves from where people shoot RPGs, and we just had to go low this time, because if I go too high, and that's it, like they will just fire at me in direct. So in the next run I just had to go low from that place, and this is the place where everything just changed. We had to like fire our missiles, and there was like no way to get through this, and there was like literally we couldn't even get our chopper down, like to hit them with our chopper. And these were the objectives, like we had to take down those tanks and vehicles which were coming at the base, and the objective was to like shoot them down with our rockets. And it took me like total of 12 rockets to destroy all these vehicles and APCs in there. I tried to do it in less, but that wouldn't work, because sometimes even if I hit the rockets in between these vehicles, they wouldn't really destroy two of them. So it was pretty random. So it literally took me 12 rockets to do this at this part. So that was pretty much it for this, and this is where our run got messed up totally, and there was no way to go through without shooting a single bullet in Black Ops Cold War. But instead of that, what I did is, like, now this point of the whole video would be like how many least shots it would take to defeat Black Ops Cold War campaign. And oh boy, just that part wasn't over. This next part where we just crashed from our chopper in the same mission, and we are given a machine gun to shoot these Vietnamese soldiers. And like, oh boy, like if I didn't shoot them, they would pretty much kill me, and it was a guaranteed I would die. So again, we couldn't get away from this part without firing, and it was very hard to count bullets from this machine gun because it's automatic. So like one tap of a mouse would mean a single shots fired, because it was very hard to measure that, like how many shots do I fire. And the least I could get away was 4, and the maximum was like more than 6 or 7 shots to get away them. But after killing a few of them with 4 shots, and the rest of them are just drop dead, and our friendlies just shoot them off. So more 4 shots, so our total shot counts in this mission went up to from the chopper part was 12, and this part was 4. So that was a total of 16 shots fired in this mission already. Like, this was a heartbreaking that we are going so good by now, and this mission totally had to come and ruin it all for us. Like, not even 1 or 2 shots, like 16 shots. But whatever, we move on to the next mission, and this mission isn't that hard. We jump out of a train, like it's all about stealth, and there's not much shooting at all, like not really until the very end of the mission. And we just get here and take down these enemies and melee them. And then there is this part out of the ladder, and there's like two guards. We need to grab the gun from Adler's back and shoot them, but we just switch to our weapon and just melee them, and they're like surprised. Then there's this house part where there's this lady and a kid on top and a guy. So it's Cross whom it's whose house this is, and we need to steal some information, intel from this. We need to go upstairs. We're given a tranquilizer gun just in case we need it, but we won't be firing it. But there wasn't any shooting we had to do in that part, but this is the end part of the same mission, and this is where everything starts to like rain fire on everyone. Like people are fighting each other now. Like the whole mission was about stealth, and there's like no more stealth going on in here. We're like all in, go, and again the same melee and takedown process begins. So we just go in, punch them, kick them, shoot them with our takedowns, and that's all about in the rest of this mission is. And then at the end we get stunned, we get these two enemies, we just hit them with our gun butt, and then we capture Volkov pretty much, and that's the end of the brick in the wall mission. And then this is the mission where it was pretty much easy, and oh boy, the tomahawk was a lifesaver for us. And there was like a bunch of enemies at the start. We just used our tomahawk on them, and this is the part where I thought I had to shoot this guy to save woods or the game will just end. Like it will have to restart, but I forgot I had a tomahawk, so I just threw it on him, and that was it. And we saved Woods, and we proceed. And Woods gave us a gun again, but we won't be using that again. There's this military simulation area where there's a ton of enemies, and we just have to use our tomahawks and our melee process, and that was it. So we just have to keep count on our tomahawks. So there were like 3 of them, just don't lose them. And there was this dude with an armed Juggernaut suit, which was pretty hard to take him out, and the tomahawks didn't seem to do much damage to him, but we just went forward and just hit him on his face with our gun, and that killed him. And there was a few more enemies before the elevator part, and we just killed them with a tomahawk, took back our tomahawk and got up, and more enemies and hallways in here. And just as you know what we're gonna be doing in all of these parts, just using our tomahawks wisely and meleeing them and taking them down. And we just had to collect our tomahawk and keep track of it. And then again, this final part before we get into APC is there's like another Juggernaut suit guy, and we have to kill him, but I just killed him with our melee again on his face, and then I just had to run for the APC instead of killing all these people. I just got into the APC because there was like too many enemies and I can't just kill them all with my melee. And this is the mission where it again got broken. Like without shooting, I couldn't go through this APC. Like it would just kill us and destroy our APC. Like there was no way. And this time the first APC can be ignored. It just hits us. It doesn't destroy us or anything. But the second APC which comes, and we need to shoot a few bullets, and this time I did shoot 3 bullets actually, but it was, if you see carefully, there's like 2 hit markers. I played it in slow-mo, so we'll only count the hit markers because there's a bug, I don't know why, and it sometimes doesn't register all the shots which are fired. So this is the part again right after there's like 2 more APCs blocking the road. We just have to shoot them. Once again, there's this bug that some bullets won't register from the APC. So I shot like 6 bullets at him, on only 4 of them worked, and it actually did the work pretty well. So 4 shots, and earlier we shot 2, so that was a total of 6 shots fired in this mission. So that takes our count to 6, and from the last mission, Fractured Jaw, it was 16. So that takes up to 22 shots fired total in this game so far. And after this mission, I don't think that there is much of a like as I played the whole game, I don't think really there is any more shooting I need to do. And as you saw before, the hit markers in that mission on the APC in slow motion, as you can see, there's like 4 hit markers and 6 total shots fired. But and on the next mission, the Echoes of Cold War, and there's not much. This is, you can go all stealth pretty much, not all like in the first part. And we get into the zip line, and this part there was a bunch of snipers. We just killed him, and got back down and just rushed to these two people, these two enemies at the bottom, and just meleeed him straight. And that was it for this part. And then we get inside this array or satcom tower, whatever we call it, from Black Ops 1. It was good visiting this place, and this is where the first time the game actually gave us a melee weapon, which we needed. So we fell down off the zip line, and the game gave us a combat knife. And with that combat knife, we just went in and killed a couple of these guys, and we didn't really need to kill them or any of them. We could just go past through them, but I just decided to go ahead and melee them with my knife. And then we have this crossbow, but I thought of firing it, and then I remember that a bow is still a shot counted as a shot fired. So I just ignored that, switched back to my knife, and went ahead and killed these two guys up here. And after that, and then there is this final part of this mission where it's just got a bit hard because this is again that small area, and we just need to like strafe around. There's a bunch of enemies firing at us, actually not firing us, firing at this thing, the mainframe, and it just got destroyed. And this is where I had to use my flashes and grenades to keep these guys away, and we actually made it through, and we got pulled out of there by the chopper. And then after that is the desperate measures mission, and this is where not much is there at the start. We just have to kill the security guy, and then there is a map which pops out, and there's like a bunch of ways we can get the bunker key from Charkov, and we will just use our poison method instead of just anything else. We just poisoned Charkov, got the key, and when Imran Sakayev comes into the elevator, we just knock him out just for fun. I know he won't be shooting or anything. And then back when we went down to the bunker, we just shoot a few of these guys with the, I mean not shooting by, I mean shooting by the cutscenes, of course not with a gun. And then I hid behind this door of the bunker, and Adler is all our friend right there, shooting at all the enemies with the shotgun. He did pretty good there. And then there's this part where we are in a Juggernaut suit, and the C4 is tossed at them, and I feel like we wouldn't be able to melee enemies with in a Juggernaut suit, but it just became much more easier since we had way more health, and that was pretty much it. Starting with the next mission, the end of line, there's this final part. There's nothing interesting at the start or the middle. There's this final part where you have to control a gunship, but I thought that we won't make it without firing a single bullet, because there's a bunch of enemies around us and they would kill us, but we made it out. There's not much going on break on through level. We just go through the same place over and over again at melee people. That's it. All we do is open some doors, and that's it. Starting with ashes to ashes. When we lie to Adler, this is the mission which comes in. We just went ahead and talked to Adler at first, and there's nothing much. We then had to ambush him, and then the RPG comes in and fire at them, and that was pretty much it. After that, we just went in and killed Woods and Mason, and this was very sad to see him die right there from our hand, killing Woods and Mason. Very sad. I didn't feel like doing that at all, like taking them down with our melee. And then we see Adler, and that's it for the mission. And then there's this final mission, actually according to the canon, this final countdown, whatever it's called. And we have given a grenade launcher, and we don't really need to shoot it. We can just proceed forward without firing a single bullet. Then there's this Juggernaut guy. Again, we just tossed a grenade on his face and he died, and that was pretty it for that mission, and can be done without firing a single bullet. And then there's this final cutscene where we pull out each of our guns, and I don't know who shot first or whoever, but I hope we didn't. Even if we did, that's a part of the cutscene. We don't really need to count that as a shots fired. But that's it, guys. So a total count of shots fired is 22 for us in the whole campaign, and only those two missions were the only missions which screwed us up, screwed this total run up. And that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and have a nice day and take care. I'll be seeing you in the next video.